It's a Dhan Yoga in itself, which is a good placement. Yes, you might have a minor risk of falling sick and you might end up spending some money there, but that's okay. Your own hard work, your own initiatives, your own new projects that you've proactively embarked upon will be giving you some good outcomes. You will be spending good quality time together. I cannot promise a travel, but I think once we discuss about Venus, he is going to commit to something of that sort. Hi guys, welcome back to Dev Astrology. Today we are going to be doing the reading for your sign for the month of January 2025. We have done a detailed reading for all the signs, both moon as well as rising, and you can check out the annual predictions which are already posted a couple of weeks back on my channel video. So without further ado guys, you can get started with the key dates that are going to be coming into picture for the month of January. And you can watch this video both from a rising as well as moon sign perspective. So it gives you confidence to see the video in both perspectives. All right, let me share my screen and showcase what are the key dates that will impact us this month. So guys, as you guys can see on your screen here, first and foremost, Sun is currently placed in the sign of Sagittarius, and it is going to be there till the first half of the month, till Jan 13th. And then it will be going into the sign of Capricorn from Jan 14th onwards. Then you have Mercury, which is again placed in conjunction with Sun in the sign of Sagittarius itself, and it is going to be in this sign from Jan 4th, means it is going to be transiting from the sign of Scorpio for the first 3 days and then moving into the sign of Sagittarius from Jan 4th, and then it will be in Capricorn from Jan 24th onwards. You have Venus, which is currently in Aquarius, and it is going to be there until Jan 26th, and from Jan 27th it will be moving into the sign of Pisces in its sign of exaltation, and we've touched upon this in our annual videos as well, and we are going to be talking about this in depth today. Then you have Mars, which is in Cancer in retrograde movement, and it is there till Jan of 20th, and then it is going to be moving into the sign of Gemini from Jan 21st onwards, where it will continue in its retrograde motion itself. You have Jupiter currently retrograde in the sign of Taurus in Rohini Nakshatra, which is ruled by Moon. So it is continuing in the sign of Taurus itself through the course of this month, with Saturn being in Aquarius in Purv Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is the lord of Jupiter's sign. So it's going to be in Jupiter's sign now onwards itself in Aquarius. Then you have Rahu, which is in Pisces in Uttara Bhadrapada Nakshatra, which is ruled by Saturn. And then you have Ketu, which is in the sign of Virgo in Uttara Phalguni Nakshatra, which is ruled by Sun. So these are the key dates that are going to be impacting you for the course of this month. So Sagittarius, you can watch your screen and you can watch this video both from a rising as well as moon Sagittarius perspective. And as you guys can see, Sun is currently in your first house, which is a very good placement because it brings a lot of confidence, self-belief. He is the lord of 9th house coming into your Lagna itself, which definitely will mean that you will be getting support from your leadership, your superiors, bosses, fatherly figure. Even spiritual awareness will be of heightened measures for you at this point in time. I would not be surprised if you find yourself lucky in some sort of a deal, some sort of a wish fulfillment automatically coming in, happening true for you because of this placement of Sun itself. You will be oozing with confidence at this point in time, and this is a very strong placement of the 9th lord in your first house because it is also in the friendly sign of Sagittarius for Sun. But at the same time, your lord of 7th and 10th house has also come into the Lagna from Jan 4th onwards. It's currently in your 12th house, but it will be in your Lagna in conjunction with Sun itself. This is a good combination. Mercury enjoys the directional strength here. He likes to be in the first house, and being the lord of 10th coming into the first means that work, profession, Your karma, your efforts will take priority at this point in time. Whether you're a student, homemaker watching this video, working professional, running your own business, all of those karmas, all of your efforts will take deep priority in your life, starting with the new year itself. And that's a positive thing. It's a good Dhan Yoga as well. It's a good Raj Yoga as well because of the seventh Kendra Lord having Kendra position itself. And this continues for the entire month because both of these planets will be forming that conjunction into your second house as well in the later half of the month. Second half of the month from Jan 14th onwards, Sun will be moving into the second house itself. It's a Dhan Yoga in itself, which is a good placement. Yes, you might have a minor risk of falling sick and you might end up spending some money there, but that's okay because I don't see any fatal situation, at least from a transit perspective, coming in there. And Mercury will be later joining in Sun in the last week of January, and it'll be forming good Dhan Yoga from there as well. So I think some sort of reprieve at the workplace, some sort of positive outcome, either it could be in the form of promotion, new deal cracking, you supporting your family and that becoming a primary, your focus towards family, good quality food, spending happy time, all of that will increase in the month of January itself. The important thing to note is that from your partner's perspective, you should be careful about some sudden happenings, probably on your in-law side as well. Now, of course, Mercury is not very comfortable in the Sagittarius sign in the Lagna, but he will get very well comfortable in the second house in Capricorn, from where it will be giving an aspect to your 8th house. So there could be some news that you anticipate from your in-laws. It could be on both on a positive or the negative side, depending on the position of moon in your chart. So you will have to check on that bit as well. But just take good care of your spouse, of your partner. Some sort of gains are also expected either in your business or from your spouse itself from their support. But I think you will be focused toward your spouse. Of course, while Mercury is uncomfortable in Sagittarius, he is still giving an aspect to the sign of Gemini, his own house and his sign. So there will be a lot of initiative that you would be taking. You will be spending good quality time together. I cannot promise a travel, but I think once we discuss about Venus, he is going to commit to something of that sort. Maybe something will materialize during the month itself in that space too. But yes, you will be spending some quality time with the family at home, making good food, enjoying festivities, and having some auspicious event within a small group, within your family members itself. Now, as we move into your third house, we see the second lord and the third lord, which is Saturn. It is going to be sitting in conjunction with Venus, who rules your 6th house and your 11th house of gains, desires, and prosperity. Now, the conjunction of Saturn and Venus is a good one. It is good for finding recognition and fame. Now, of course, Venus is not finding a great spot to be sitting in the third house, but the Lord of wish fulfillment and gains and desires is coming and sitting in conjunction with the second Lord. So 11th and second Lord are sitting conjunct in third. Means the efforts that you're putting in, the hard work that you've been putting in Sagittarius, it is going to pay off. It is going to provide you the right dividends. So make good use of this time. There is a high possibility that you might find more areas of opportunities, new projects that you might embark upon, start at your workplace itself, because it's the second lord which is sitting with Shani, the 10th lord of Kalpurusha, right? So the 6th lord sitting in with Saturn in the third house is a definitive indication that you will have to be putting in a lot of efforts during this conjunctory period, but it is also going to be rewarding. They are both forming a very strong Dhan Yoga. Your own hard work, your own initiatives, your own new projects that you've proactively embarked upon will be giving you some good outcomes. Do not be surprised if you get some work-related travel as well. Most probably this travel will be in a short duration, short interval of time and a short getaway. I do not anticipate family getaway very strongly, but yes, there is a possibility for some of you because Saturn is your second lord as well, sitting in third in conjunction with Venus. So it is possible that some of you might take a break along with your family members as well, probably with your spouse. But the higher probability I anticipate is more from a workplace front. Please be cautious with respect to embarking on new hobbies. You might end up spending some amount of money, but it will be a interesting exposure for you to learn new things as well during this period. Now, this Venus is going to get into its sign of exaltation in Pisces, and the 4th house position for Venus is a good situation to be in. However, this is going to be very interesting because he is going to sit with the expansionist Rahu. Now, of course, for a very brief period in January itself, you will see the Parivartan Yoga coming into play between Venus and Jupiter, but we will talk more about it in the future months to follow. This conjunction is going to be in place for more than 100 days. And given the fact that Venus is coming into the fourth house, I see very strong possibility of you acquiring something big, some sort of a desire, goal, ambition that you've had in terms of expanding your assets. They seem to be happening. I would also not be surprised if many of you see some sort of a promotion, because you see, the sixth lord is going 11 places away in conjunction with Rahu, the planet of expansion. So there is a growth possibility, probably a job switch. Even people working out of home might find some sort of a addition to what they are doing. It's like your throne is getting more weightage to it, and it is getting luxury along with it. Many of you might be embarking upon doing renovation engagements, beautification of your houses. That will be a good call. Specifically for you guys, Sagittarius, I see many of you buying electronic gadgets, expensive gadgets of any kind. It could be digital phones, cameras, other machinery and stuff. And I think it is going to be a good acquisition for you at this point in time. Now, this Rahu has been placed here for a while, roughly 13, 14 months now. And in the next 3-4 months, it will be transitioning into its own sign into the third house, which is going to be a good movement. But from here, it has been aspecting and bringing in some good expenses thanks to its look into the 12th house. It's been aspecting your 10th. So work has been turbulent. It has not been to the best of your outcome, or maybe you've lost some interest also in terms of that monotonous routine. But with the presence of Venus, it is going to be at least sharpened for the next few months and weeks to follow. Now, Ketu on the other side of things has been sitting in your 10th, and that's why I said that Ketu has been detaching you from your profession, from your efforts, from your karma. Or there is also another possibility that you could have potentially felt lost at your workplace. Things will change. It has got into the nakshatra of Surya itself, and you have to see the performance of this transit. We'll talk in detail when we do a detailed reading of this transit as well, but you will have to see the degree of sun. But at this point in time, it is steadily moving towards the 9th house. Important thing for you to be is to maintain some level of sanity, good relations with your bosses, superiors. It is going to be extremely important. This Ketu is also giving an aspect to your 2nd house and to your 6th. I think some of the challenges that you were facing with respect to savings and stuff, they are going to get calmed down in this month itself. January 2025 is going to be very auspicious from that perspective for you. Now, when I look into your 6th house, guys, what we see is that you have Jupiter, which is going to be in exchange with Venus, is sitting in the nakshatra of Moon Rohini, and it is in retrograde motion at this point in time as well. He is the lord of your Lagna as well as your 4th house and sitting into the 6th. So it's a tricky situation, but this retrograded Jupiter gives a lot of strength to you as a native. I think you will be gaining a lot of confidence during this point in time, and it would be requiring you to put in some additional efforts at your work front. You might be facing certain obstacles, problems coming in with respect to legal matters, health, even loans and stuff would not have been working out. But fear not, this is a time where things will start to materialize for you. Good thing is that this Jupiter has been in trine with Ketu, so he is addressing a lot of those challenges at the work front as well, and he's keeping you stick it out at your workplace. From your mental peace perspective, things were a little complicated. They are seeming better in the month of January, and you also might be able to take better care of your own health physically during this period as well. So January promises much more positive outcome for you from all those angles, and things are going to get better from the last week of the month once Venus is also exalted, because it is going to give further strength to Jupiter. Now, on the other side, we see that Mars, which is currently sitting in your 8th house, and he is the lord of your 5th and your 12th house going into 8th. So he is forming a Vipareet Raj Yoga for yourself. But the situation still has been tricky. He is trying to give an exalted aspect to your house of savings, which is a good thing. But given that a malefic planet being retrograded is not one of my favorite situations, I think you've been facing certain hidden enemies, hidden turbulences, unexpected losses as well. Things are going to settle from that perspective to a certain extent. But when Mars moves into the 7th, it is going to bring in complications with respect to your marital life. Yes, it will bring in opportunities from a business standpoint, from a partnership standpoint, from a market-based collaboration standpoint. but you will have to keep a check in your argumentative mindset or your aggression overall, so that you do not create a displeasure sort of a situation for your partner. So be careful. I think once this Mars gets direct and it again comes out of your 7th house into your 8th, things will start getting much more convenient for you. Now, this Mars is, of course, also going to be aspecting your 12th, but as it gets into a retrograded motion and moves back to your 7th house, it is going to be giving my apologies, actually 11th house, and it is going to be giving an aspect to your 10th. So work is going to be becoming a priority for you as we move ahead in the course of the month, and things are going to iron out better from a profession standpoint. All I will recommend you guys is, please do not pick up a beef with your bosses, with your superiors. Try and align with them as much as you can. It is a tough period from that perspective. However, your hard works are bound to pay off. Saturn, Venus, Surya, Mercury, all of these planets and Jupiter, they're trying to pivot in the right fashion from your work career perspective. Health, we've already discussed. And romantic bit, I think it is not one of the best periods for you to pursue anything in that direction. You will have to be careful if you're a married person, but if you're a single person, or even if with regards to your education and investments, I would want you to be cautious at this point in time, Sagittarius. Let Mars ease out and come in a much more convenient situation. From a romance perspective specifically, when Mars becomes direct, that will be a better point to be exploring anything of that sort. And retrograde period is not one of my recommended periods for you to go in that direction. So I hope, guys, you've got a clarity as to what this month of 2025 January entails for you. If you've enjoyed this reading, guys, I really request you to smash on that like button, leave a comment as to what you would want to see next, and subscribe to Dev Astrology. Om Namah Shivaya.